You're listening to The Bailey J. Show on the Riotcast Network, riotcast.com.
Hi.
Hey, Bailey.
What's up?
Nothing. I'm recording a podcast.
No. That's so stupid. Everybody has a podcast.
I'm co-hosting and engineering and providing all other things.
You're a real jack off all trades.
All you have to do is talk.
Yeah, I got the easy job.
So, what's new?
I don't even know. Nothing. I feel like I haven't gotten it. Well, I started working on my book again.
That's
So
good.
that's been good.
Mm-hmm.
That's not about aliens, although I find a way to only talk about aliens in everything I do. So, and the occult and ghosts and ghoulies. So it's actually a book about human sexuality, but I'm definitely gonna end up talking about the occult in it. The two go hand in hand for me, as it were. What about you, my delicious little horseshoe crab?
I'm getting the band back together
Ooh.
that I've been drawing a lot.
Yeah, your drawings are getting really good. They're all on Instagram, right?
I think so. Most of them, a lot of them are. Yeah, they are. If you go to my Instagram, Old York Matt, you can see how I've been practicing drawing. I call it drawing.
Drawing.
For 40 years. No, that's not true, because that would mean I was doing this when I was 2. But for like 25 years, I've seen artists draw, and I would be like, oh my God, that's so crazy. And I would try to draw, and it would just be like a sack of shit. And then like a year or two ago, I tried to draw some more, and it looked like a 4-year-old did it.
Uh-huh.
And then I met a couple artists, spoke to them a bit, bought a book, practiced, and now I'm actually able to sort of copy things, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't trace it. I just look at it. And I draw it, and you can see it on Instagram, and that's only been about 3 weeks, so you too can become like me.
Bono.
And yeah, and I hope that like 5 years from now I'm actually able to like make a comic book or something,
That's cool.
or like erotica,
Erotica.
like fine literature erotica.
I think
That's a joke, by the way.
I was actually gonna say I've been reading oh shit, what's the name of the book? It's some like horny French book from the 40s.
Mein Kampf?
No, yes, Mein Kampf.
Okay.
No shit, what's the name of it? Delta of Venus, I believe is the name of it.
Okay.
And it's just like a super horny book written by a French lady from the 40s. And I'm into it. But it made me realize that I always said writing fiction sucks, but if it was about horny stuff, I feel like I could do it easier.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I don't know, like drawing sexy, I don't know, it keeps you stimulated, keeps you interested. I don't know.
Yes. I was actually, I said I was kidding about drawing erotica, but I might at some point.
You've already drawn like naked ladies on bicycles.
Yeah, and I'm pretty good at that.
Yeah.
So.
But I guess it keeps interest, I feel, because it's like in that wiring, in that sexy wiring.
What does that say?
Logic
not available. Okay. I lost my mouse pointer.
Oh.
Okay.
Anyway, so yeah, but so I've been reading erotica, and I've been writing and things.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm
I
a
think
fan
so.
of people that do things.
Me too.
Hello.
Oh my God, what's happening?
Hi, how are you?
So today,
Oh wow, was that Ford?
I don't know.
I guess they want to put an ad in this transsexual porn stars podcast about the devil.
So everybody listening, this
Yeah.
is going to be a weird thing because I don't know the answer to this. But so now we've got video, and let me see if yours looks like it's.
Ba-ba-doo-da-da.
Yeah, yours should be better when it goes up.
Okay.
It should be like mine. So we're on YouTube's now. The last episode we did is a video podcast. If you search, I don't know what our YouTube name is. I don't know how to find that.
Don't we have to like prove that we're not? There's like a fake Bailey J YouTube that's like better than our YouTube. Like
Yeah, there's somebody named Bailey Show. If you search that, it brings up all of our stuff, including the last episode, which has more views. Ours is somewhere also.
Okay.
I don't know how to
They're
get
better
there.
at being me than me, which sucks.
Yeah, what was the name of the episode? It was...
Remember that crazy person on Facebook who like had a fake Bailey J Facebook that they ran, but it was some like dude, and so like they were like, "This is my boyfriend," and it was like pictures of him, and I was just like, "Oh my god!" I was like, we got him like taken down. That was really funny.
Okay, hold on. I found it. Bailey Show.
Remind me never to wear that dress again. That webcam makes me look fat.
Yeah, just our name is Bailey Show, but the episode name is Human Salsa. So if you Google YouTube, if in YouTube you type Human Salsa, that episode will come up by Bailey Show. But there's no like link. It doesn't say like youtube.com/Bailey Show. You know? What if I type that in? youtube.com/Bailey Show. No.
Nothing.
It's not available.
Okay.
youtube.com/Bailey J Show. That's some other fake person. My channel. Isn't that weird? Yeah, somebody email me, and if you figure out, well, you can email at baileyjshow@gmail.com. If you can figure out an easy way for me to tell people what our YouTube name is, I will then do that.
All right.
I'm talking to the listeners, not you. Stop humming.
No, I'm keeping up with the conversation. That's what you do on a podcast.
I get confused when you say Yeah. So
Anyway.
that's everything that's been going on.
Cool. I guess show's over. This was nice. Thank you, everybody. Tweaked Audio.
You want me to start with viewer emails or reader emails?
Yeah, let's just get into it. I don't really have many notes this week, so just let's see.
I have notes.
Let's
So
see.
we can do notes too if you want instead, because we don't usually do. The
I don't
emails
even
right away.
I didn't literally mean notes. I just meant I don't really have much to work with this week. But anything you've got, I can build off of. So what do you got, baby? You got emails?
Yeah, I'm gonna actually hold off to the emails.
Oh. I know there's a good possession video you were telling me about that you found.
Yeah, let's see. Oh yeah, a possessed teenager. Can I just open this? Open URL like that. See, I like this.
It's very user friendly.
A possessed teenager develops terrifying new voice as demon takes over his body.
Ooh.
And there's a video, so I don't know if there's a commercial. Let's see.
There's totally going to be a commercial.
Yeah, probably. Wait, no, it's loading. It's taking a while to load, so.
There's an ad about Ron Paul telling you to buy gold. They really know their audience.
Again, in a Spanish-speaking country.
Ese es el cuerpo de Saí, no te pertenece.
That sounds like that voice you do all the time.
He has pterodactyl voice. So it's like a family on a porch in a hot Spanish-speaking country. And a man and his probably wife are speaking to this teenager who is apparently possessed and making a pterodactyl voice. That's what you're hearing. That
Maybe he's
voice.
possessed by a pterodactyl. Get a full screen it. So where's the teenager?
Right there. He looks like a man.
That's a big ass teenager.
¿Qué te pasa? ¿A qué viniste?
They're growing big down there. That is a large person.
¿A quién vas a ayudar? Aquí tenemos a Cristo nosotros. Tenemos poder, aquí no. Tú eres un príncipe de mentiras.
I mean, it's not overly dramatic. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
if you're gonna fake it, you're gonna go all out.
Now he's slumped.
Okay.
And there's people there that all seem not like actors.
Well, if you see a lot of possessions, and if you look into voodoo, which is a lot of possession in voodoo like stuff, that's what it looks like.
maligno, que Jesucristo tiene poder. Jesucristo tiene poder.
Are there people who try to do exorcisms without all the Jesus talk? Because I feel like there's that would be a scientific approach. Because I mean,
I'm guessing the scientific approach to this guy is restraining straitjacket pills room.
No. When I say scientific, I just mean as far as experimenting. Like, don't just always immediately go to Jesus. Like, if we could really experiment, we could do it with lots of different. Because exorcisms aren't just a Catholic thing. Like, people get possessed in all different religions, including ones that have nothing to do with Catholicism.
I don't know. That's a good question.
Voodoo's linked to Catholicism in a lot of ways. Just, I guess, being here and blending and stuff. But
how would you approach this with a non-religious method?
Well,
no, he stands up.
Well, like using sage isn't Christian.
Now he's left. He's walking around the house. It's nighttime. Peligroso, isn't that? What is that? I know what that is.
I don't know. Your Spanish is better than mine. Okay, so we just beelined it.
Now someone answered their phone. Oh, it looks like a health worker. Is there.
Yeah, the Red Cross is there. But I think you could get rid of a predatory energy without involving Christianity specifically.
Yeah.
So, I mean, because either people all over the world do exorcisms, not everybody's Christian. So
that was the end of that.
I mean, there's like indigenous, like Polynesian stuff where like they dip the some sort of plant in water and they're flinging the water and stuff, but it's not Christian necessarily. So I don't know.
So,
but of course, in Spanish-speaking countries, they're going to go to Catholicism. That's just how that goes.
The child, named Saeed, spelled said, left his family fearing for their lives after he appeared to have been taken over by a devil. In the clip, the boy sits in a chair making strange throaty noises as though his voice has been distorted by a machine. It is believed the incident took place in Montemorelos, Mexico.
Okay.
So I was right that it was a Spanish-speaking country.
You were right. You recognized Spanish.
Said's family eventually called for medical help, but doctors could not provide the boy with any assistance. They suggested the family call for religious help after believing the boy could be possessed by Satan.
But Satan, real like the big kahuna?
Yeah.
I mean, not that I believe in Satan.
The red suit, the tail, the pitchfork.
Not that I believe in Satan, but just the odds that like just real like who's like.
Satan gives a crap about this kid,
right? I don't know. I mean, to me, it would just be like, oh, predatory energy, just like a predatory being. You know what I mean? Like it just to jump all the way to anyway. It just seems like a big leap.
A priest then attended the home and performed an exorcism in an attempt to drive the evil spirits away. It is not clear whether the boy has recovered from his ordeal. They refer to it as an ordeal.
Okay.
I think like traffic would be an ordeal.
Right, like being possessed by allegedly the devil.
Having to go to a wedding is an ordeal.
Oh, the weddings. I'm really glad that I have breast implants because I don't get invited to girls' weddings. They don't invite me.
So yeah, lots of exorcisms, and I'm not really searching for them. I find these just on generic, news sites.
Right.
I don't search exorcism videos.
Right.
I don't know. So, I mean, we talked about it a couple episodes ago, but
we've talked about exorcism probably every episode, which is kind of cool. They keep coming up.
I don't know what I think. Like, if I'm being, I don't know. Just the chance that they're, I don't know. I don't think it's as. You know what it is? I think it's not what people say it is.
I think it's something different. I again, like if you research voodoo, so much of voodoo practice is willful possession.
Yeah. Like
agreeing to be possessed. And they have these specific deities in mind. I'm so bad with the names, but like there's you get like cigars and bourbon and cigars and rum, and that's like Baba Legba or someone. I don't remember the name specifically, but there's that's you're inviting to be possessed by these like different deities within voodoo. And when people get possessed, it's very much like the possession videos you're showing. It looks like these are maybe not consensual possessions,
right?
And maybe things go in and out of people. Like if we're just a vessel and if we're experiencing consciousness in this vessel, the odds that something can kind of hijack our vessel doesn't seem too far-fetched to me.
No, not at all. But what I mean is, When I'm from my own experience, if I'm letting myself meditate or be creative, I believe that my consciousness can act like a radio and pull in inspiration.
Yeah.
And then I can create music or art. Okay.
Inspiration literally means to take in spirit.
Right, but I don't believe that's what it literally means. I think that's what those people thought it was. I don't believe though that a conscious spirit has gotten in me to make music. I think there's just things, energy.
Yeah.
You know,
And who's to say what's
noise.
conscious and what's not?
And then, so with this, and with probably a lot of possessions, I think it's more. There is also probably negative energy that you can pull into your antenna.
Definitely.
And so he absorbed possibly negative energy, and then his body is just like past the point of being angry. It's just like,
well, and I think
upset and crazy and lost.
I think it's possible that people experience that on a small scale every day. I think when
Right.
people are just in a bad mood, and there's so many times where like I just feel this horrible feeling, and then it passes, and I'm over my bad mood, and then later you're just in the shit. Like it just moves on to you.
Right, and I'm just saying that I don't think a conscious, a demon Baltukok went in his body and made him do that.
I believe that can happen personally.
I'm sure. I think it may be able to happen. I just don't think generally that happens.
Okay.
So with him, what do you think? It was something like that?
I
Like a nameable demon was in him.
Not even so. I think anything's technically nameable, but I think a conscious predatory energy went in his vessel.
So let's say we have the human body.
Yeah.
You have your atoms and cells.
Okay.
And organs.
Okay.
And then brain. And then you also have a spirit, which you probably can't really define, or it's not specific. It's just somehow attached.
Okay. Yeah.
So when a possession comes, is there another, that type of spirit that now pushes your spirit out or overcomes it? Like, is it like that?
I think it shares the vessel with you and overpowers your vessel.
So there's two spirits then at that time.
Yeah.
And one is dormant or it's fighting it?
I think one is dormant but maybe weaker or scared. Yeah.
And then a priest can pull back your actual spirit. Can you get lost entirely forever from a possession? Has that ever happened?
I mean, people have died during exorcisms or after exorcisms. But I honestly don't know. I think ultimately you being in your vessel holds more ground potentially, and this is just a guess. I'm not married to any of my theories. This is just based on stuff I've read and kind of just different data. But it seems that it's not too difficult to get it out of you. It seems like it's not too hard to get it out of you once it's like once there's a predatory energy in you potentially. But then there's, like you said, there's positive possessions. I mean, there's people who say, "Oh, I feel the Holy Spirit," or they're filled with this like very strong feeling, and or this overwhelming urge to do good. And I think sometimes those could be a form of possession. But I like your theory that like people are taking in energies that aren't necessarily conscious beings, which is totally possible.
I may have had a paranormal experience last night.
Yeah. Oh, you had a weird one.
Well, the more that I've looked into it, I'm confused by it.
Okay.
I will tell the audience at home because I am an open book. I was having a dream this morning. I didn't know it was this morning, and I didn't know it was a dream. So basically, a few hours ago, 7 o'clock this morning, I was at a party for an old friend who had become very successful, but he's like an egomaniac.
Mm-hmm.
And in real life, we haven't spoken in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So in the dream, I said to this person, because I was at the party and I was sitting next to them, I was like, hey, let's bury the hatchet. Let's just, stop this. And he immediately was very taken aback and upset by me even addressing that, and looked at me and was like, how fucking dare you? And started to like grab at my face and was like, no, like don't even, that kind of like anger and rage.
Yeah,
and it was about to become a nightmare. And then you're looking at me and I'm awake and you're like, what's that noise? And I'm hearing beep, 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 beep. And our alarm, not our alarm with the sirens, but the house alarm, the control panel,
Yeah.
was giving off this warning sound.
Yeah.
So I went over and I pressed the code and it stopped. And I just thought, whatever, I don't know. And then I checked the door and there was nothing. The alarm wasn't on. I don't ever set the alarm.
Right,
to go to
right.
bed. So it wasn't an alarm. It was just something with the thing. So I called ADT today and they told me that they see a low battery warning. And so the battery may need to be replaced or whatever. I'm like, well, how long this was just installed 7 months ago, brand new.
Mm-hmm.
Battery should last 5 years. So she's like, maybe the transformer is unplugged, but that's up in your attic over your bedroom. Do you want to go up there and unplug that? And I'm like, no, because there's no way I unplugged it plugs like of Transformers don't fall out.
Right.
So either it's something else or like a ghost unplugged
Right.
thing. So tomorrow an ADT guy's gonna come here and figure out why. But I've seen a lot of ghost shows.
Right.
And technology gets sucked dry of energy.
Well, and we've been getting some weird stuff with the cat seeing things.
That's one of the spots where the cat sees things, and are basically this battery that lasts 5 years after 7 months is my alarm's dead now. The battery is sucked dry.
Yeah.
Probably one of the stronger batteries in the house.
Yeah.
Gone.
Yeah.
During my nightmare.
Yeah. I think
What the fuck is that?
I think there's something to it.
You know, we've been here for 8 months. It's never happened.
Right.
So that's cool.
It is cool.
What
And your stuff's always around dreams. You get a lot of weird
I
dreams.
have very powerful dreams.
And of course, you also suffer from sleep paralysis, which people use to debunk a lot of paranormal stuff. But I think in itself is a paranormal experience a lot of times.
Well, yeah, that's just one of those things people say.
They're just like, oh, yeah, it's sleep paralysis. Just like, oh, swamp gas. It makes people feel better.
Yeah, and you hear
that's,
like, okay, that's what it is.
right. But
it's a theory.
That being said,
Just like dinosaurs having leather skin is a theory.
right, and then now they have feathers, or some of them at least. So yeah,
We got to find more of those because I always use that one. That's the only sign. Well, there's other ones like the Galileo and shit, but there's been tons of scientific failures.
there's a bunch of science. Yeah,
Scientifical, is that a word?
I don't know.
Okay.
Rewind 12 years, and if you, or 15 years ago, and if you were talking about other dimensions, you would be fucking laughed at. It would be like that Superman bullshit nonsense. And then, of course, now we've got Michio Kaku and all these like amazing theoretical physicists who are like, oh yeah, no, it's like very likely that there's other dimensions. And so, you know what I mean? So that happens all the time. That's why, so when people are like fucking married to materialistic Western science, I'm like, no, that's cool, but it's always changing. And like, I don't need someone to give me permission to just like science decided in the last 10 years that lucid dreaming is real.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, cool. Thanks, science. I really appreciate you telling me the thing that happened to me that I know happened is real, and I'm so glad.
Homosexuality was an illness.
Exactly.
10 years ago.
And I'm just, it's like, oh, thanks, materialistic Western science for telling me something that Native Americans knew like a gazillion years ago. So, you know what I mean? It's all that stuff is old school. Even now where people are like, what's with all this new gender identity weirdness? It's like, no, that was like super common in Native American places before you came here and had a massive genocide.
Oh, in India a lot. It's not, the actual India.
Right in India. Yeah. And so it's not like a new thing at all. It's just been super whitewashed. And even my bloodline is such a storyline of all of that. Like, I'm part Castilian, like part Spaniard.
Castilian, you mean?
Yeah, I'm part Spaniard and part Native American because they came over here and like eradicated and raped and pillaged and all, just really awful stuff to Native Americans. And so, or indigenous Americans or whatever word makes you the most comfortable. But yeah. I don't even like saying Native Americans because it's gross, because it's just, they're not American. America.
I like indigenous people,
indigenous
natives.
people. That's usually, I usually just say so people know what I'm talking about and they don't sound like a liberal douche.
Mm-hmm.
But if I actually, like, indigenous people makes the most sense. Like, calling them an American is just such an additional slap in the face to everything that already went down. So it's.
How many times a day do you think a kid asks his teacher when they're told Columbus discovered America, assuming they still teach that?
I think it depends on the teacher's politics.
Right. And there was natives here. A kid will ask, how did he discover it if there was people here? And what do you think a teacher says to that?
Again,
what do you think they're taught to teach?
I don't know, because I went to school where I had liberal teachers and I had very, very conservative teachers.
Because in 1982,
yeah,
I was taught, I remember this very well, that we came to this country, Columbus came here, and then the Nina, the Pinta, the Santa Maria, and Plymouth Rock, and there was savages here that we came up to, and they were, below human savages, and we said, hey, here's $24 we're gonna buy Manhattan Island from you, and these idiot savages said yes, and that's how we got Manhattan.
Yeah, see, we weren't really taught about Manhattan necessarily being in Virginia. We very much focused on the Pocahontas, who Pocahontas' story is basically, she was like a little girl and she fell in love with one of the settlers, and then he moved her to it wasn't John Smith, that's what it was in the Disney movie, but I think it's John Rolfe in real life, and he moved her to either England or moved her to he moved her to England, and then she died of smallpox, but she died with one of those giant coffee filters around her neck, like looking like a white lady, like they were like trying to pass her off as white.
Mm-hmm.
And so so she left to go be a proper white lady, but I know they were very strategic in the way they taught us being in the South and having really, and having outdated textbooks as well. They were strategic in telling us about the attacks on white people and the settlers from indigenous people. They made sure to say, oh, they were scalping and they were doing, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They were very intentional with that. So, and indigenous peoples, it's not to like say that they were holier than thou. I mean, I believe that from what I've read, there was like slavery within indigenous people, like
and some sacrifice.
Yeah. I mean, sure, why not? But everyone's still, they were people that were here first, and they were to say you discovered something. Like, sure, you can discover something if there were cockroaches there first, sure, but these were human beings who had settled and had a way of life, and like it's really, really horrendous, and it doesn't even really get talked about. And I think it's almost because people aren't scared of descendants of indigenous people, and there aren't enough of them, and so there's no fear around even talking about it because, you know what I mean? There aren't enough. And they got watered down, and like it's so.
I think speaking of conquering and stuff, somebody at NASA in 1969 had to remember to put the American flag on Apollo, whatever it was.
Right.
That's just weird to me.
That is weird.
Don't forget the flag, like, but it does. I don't think we own the moon.
I'm anti-flags, and I've always said that's why when people are like, do you have a transgender flag? I'm like, dude, there's a fucking enough flags. Like, no more flags. I'm so against it. It's just I just don't like flag mentality. That's what leads people to like justifiable murder and stuff. I'm anti-flag headspace. I just don't like it. But yeah, it's and there's a lot to be learned from, and I have a lot of books on indigenous studies, and there's just a lot to be learned from it because so much of what we just now like basically all the roots of psychology being tied to dreams and the idea of having a subconscious, all of that came from Native American stuff. So it's or indigenous people stuff. So it's yeah. My point was just that I don't necessarily need materialistic Western science to tell me something exists. They can catch up, and that's great, and that validation will feel good down the road, or if I'm even alive to experience that. But I definitely am not looking for like daddy science to give me permission to tell me something happened to me. Like, I just don't need that.
Yeah.
And I think that science in its own way has become such a dogmatic religious thing. So he's the worst cat.
What's up, buddy? Something upsetting you? Yeah?
He's possessed.
Come here. He wants attention.
He always wants attention.
We give him lots of attention.
We love our cat.
That's why he's so crazy, because he wants it all the time. He's a little bitch.
Yeah. He has a little bit of a personality disorder, I think. Which is totally our fault. We coddle him.
I've lost my mouse pointer this episode. Okay. What's this? I haven't even read this story.
Which the story, the email?
No. This is a mysterious reply to a 1974 message sent to space shocked scientist. I love this theme song.
That is good.
27 years later, so this is from...
No. He's doing the thing. He's going in the corner and meowing because he gets more echo.
This is from like 2001, I think.
Hey, what's up, guys? Tyler here with Secure Team. Today, I want to talk to you about crop circles, but more importantly, one of the most famous crop circles in history that is said to be an alien response and reply to a message that was sent out by scientists in 1974. So, a little background here. In 1974, scientists sent a message, and that message you are seeing on the screen here. They sent this message out into space containing the location of planet Earth in the solar system, our DNA structure, and a bunch of other relevant details to our place in space and about our planet. And in 2001, we received back what looks like a response. So, in 1974, Carl Sagan, and I'm sure you all know who Carl Sagan is, and for those of you who don't, Carl Sagan was an American astronomer, cosmologist, astrophysicist, astrobiologist, author, science communicator, as well as a TV show host, who is best known for his research into extraterrestrials. And so in 1974, he sent a broadcast signal out into space known as the Arecibo message, and it was sent out via radio waves. This broadcast was, at the time, the most powerful radio broadcast ever sent into space by anybody, and was 1,000,000 times stronger than that of a typical radio or television transmission to a star cluster located over 25,000 light years away. Now, the original Arecibo transmission that you're seeing here, which is this black and white graphic of binary code, beamed at a star cluster called M-13, basically is broken down like this. It describes how we count from 1 to 10. It describes 5 atoms that we think are interesting or important, including hydrogen, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, and phosphorus. It describes some of the ways we put these atoms together that we think are comprised of about 4 billion links in the chain star. Details of the word, and shook the scientific approximately 27 years later, when this crop circle that you're seeing in this image here appeared and shook the scientific community. Now, this crop circle and pattern appeared on a crop field next to the United Kingdom's Shilbolton Radio Telescope grounds in Hampshire, England, which is also the UK's largest telescope and observatory, with the world's largest fully steerable meteorological radar is located. And if you look at this message in this crop circle, you'll notice it looks almost identical to the original message that was sent out 27 years prior. And this is considered by many to be one of the most impressive crop circles ever. And it's very hard to dismiss it as a hoax, seeing as that after careful analysis, it was found to carry a message, or better yet, a response to the original message that was sent out. And it was also proven that there was no unusual activity that was seen the morning in the field that this crop circle appeared, and that Shilbolton does have security cameras, and that these cameras also captured nothing unusual. And what was so strange about this first circle that appeared, actually multiple crop circles appeared within this time frame. The first one that appeared was a fractal crop glyph that you're seeing here, which appeared next to the Shilbolton radio telescope. So then approximately a year later, an even stranger glyph appeared of a face bearing a striking resemblance
To the face on Mars?
Looks like a
to
human
the
face.
July 1976 Viking image of the famous face on Mars.
Boom.
Really? Because I don't
And
see
here
it really.
you're seeing a side-by-side comparison of that face.
That seems like a
with
huge
the
jump.
I saw it before he said it.
Yeah, but that just seems like a huge jump because that face on Mars just ended up being nothing anyway.
Right. That gives credence to it being people that were,
Sidonia image of the face
I think it
on
just looks like a
Mars,
human face.
courtesy of the Enterprise mission. So, just 5 days after this very strange glyph appeared of this face, a very different, but nonetheless amazing glyph appeared, materialized in the same field, just a few hundred feet from the face. But the second glyph, which was at first dubbed the Persian carpet, had a much more compelling story to tell, and that is that this glyph was a, quote, dead ringer to the original message composed and sent from the Arecibo radio telescope in 1974. Sent, again, 27 years before and thousands of miles away from this field here in the UK. Now, you're seeing the two messages side by side, the one that was sent and the one that was received in this field. And you'll notice that some of the things in the response here, the so-called response, are a bit different from the original message. And it's noted that in this new response, the decimal equivalents of the binary code were unchanged from the original Arecibo original.
I see we sent out a human form, and they responded with what looks like a gray form.
It does kind of look like a gray.
And these round things are more jagged.
However, the atomic numbers of the elements composing the basis of life had been altered. Silicon, an element with an atomic number of 14, was added precisely in the correct sequence between oxygen and phosphorus. The new message also added an extra strand of DNA to the original. The intricate reply also gave a much more detailed diagram of the telescope indicated at the base of the reply in the original. And something else that's very interesting on this reply is that in this glyph, it is showing us how our solar system used to be. Where in this new glyph, it states that the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter used to be a planet, and that Earth, Mars, and that planet were inhabited at the time. So there is so much more information to talk about regarding this new glyph.
Yeah, that's really cool. The face I see, though, isn't it just as impressive if they just send us the form of what a human face looks like?
Yeah.
I mean, as opposed to linking it to a face we saw on the surface of, like, a grainy surface of a planet, when our brains are kind of wired to see a face anyway.
You're right. If I'm really looking at it now, this face is different. The face on Mars, which isn't a face.
This one has a nose. The one on Mars looked like Jason's mask.
Yeah, or Voldemort. It has no nose. The one on Mars, the especially because I've been drawing now, I see like from the eye down to the jaw is a dead straight line. Mm-hmm. But here in the crop circle, it has cheekbones, and the eyes are actually much bigger in the crop circle
and closer together. I mean, if anything, it looks like early human. If anything, it looks almost Cro-Magnon.
And the Mars face, quote unquote face, just has a line for a mouth. The crop circle has more of a lip situation happening.
Yeah, I never found the Mars face to be compelling.
And being how closely resembled the DNA strand was to the original, this was way off. So yeah, I think they're leaping. You're right.
Yeah, it just seems like a sloppy connection to make, but
so
it's still really compelling though. I mean, the to see, I guess, the binary code written out and then the responses is very, very similar, except for certain things were changed. I mean, that would take such a skilled person to do. I mean, and there's those two guys in the UK that did the crop circles that admitted that they were fake and stuff like that. But crop circles are an amazing phenomenon to me. I mean, there's people see lights above the fields before they happen, and there's some that they seem to have appeared over the course of minutes when depending on eyewitness accounts. And the other thing is a lot of times the stalks don't break. I mean, with all the ones that those guys did, with the planks and the foot, and they were like doing all the fake ones, the wheat was ruptured, and in a lot of these other ones the wheat isn't broken, and sometimes if the wheat is broken, it's almost exploded, like from large amounts of heat is when they were examined, and they have high radiation. A lot of them have high radiation.
Yeah.
So
so it seems it could be, if it is alien, it could be they might have a machine that's almost like a laser beam that shoots down to a spot on Earth that they know the marking would show.
Yeah.
So rather than it's like a ship, we just go to physical, like, oh, they must have been pushing down, but
right, and it's yeah, I've always found them to be really compelling, because I don't know if what people experience as extraterrestrials, I don't know if it actually is a physical experience. I don't know that it's as simple as it's just another planet.
The hoax thing doesn't really work for me, because in this instance, because not only would you, first you need multiple people.
Right.
That's hard enough to get multiple people to agree to do anything. I could see a few people talking about it.
And to not get caught.
So, yeah, it's multiple people. Then they also have to know that this transmission went out and what it looked like and have that.
And get the exact, and get the exact, like, get it so precise,
right.
and know the binary code form for silica.
And I remember 2001, the internet wasn't crazy back then yet, so
right.
It wasn't like you could just search for things sent out, blah blah blah, and print it out or whatever. Then so they'd have to somehow get the design, these three, let's say 3 people, and they'd have to be artistic as well, because
right.
It's hard to do. If you told me, who's now been practicing, to draw that, I would need like rulers, and it would be
they would need exact measurements.
Yeah, it would be close. So it's very difficult to do. And then the fourth is nobody had to notice it with it. So there's so many things.
Not to mention this was a high security area.
So they'd have to have they have to have the artistic ability, the interest, the ownership of the image, and then the willingness to go out and do it and not get caught.
And there was no mention of car tracks or anything in the field near it.
And nobody claimed.
Right.
And that would be a big part of humans doing it. They'd eventually be like, I did this.
Well, just what the two guys in the UK did. Yeah.
Everybody always eventually comes out because they want to get a blowjob for being the guy that did the crop circle.
Right. Yeah, it's really interesting. I've always found crop circles to be really interesting, especially because there's a lot of lore in it. There's a lot of like old school lore about lights above fields and weird circles in fields, and there's a lot of like very ancient stuff about that.
Also, again, 2001, not a time where we had Facebook and YouTube. Maybe there was YouTube, but
in 2001 there was not YouTube.
Right. So yeah, this is 15 years ago. I think YouTube might be 10, Facebook might be 10. So, and that's when nobody. It wasn't like really popular.
Mm-hmm.
So again, you do this, and there's really no way to get it viral. People weren't. If this came out a month ago, I'd be like, okay, someone's doing a commercial.
Yeah, or it's a promotion for some shit movie that's coming out. Right.
It's actually more relevant because it happened 15 years ago.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's very compelling. I think it's very, very interesting.
So you think, let's say it is aliens. Well, they can't come here yet.
Well, that's the thing. I don't know. I don't claim to know any answers. I'm not even sure if quote unquote aliens are even some sort of physical phenomenon. I don't know if it's some weird projection or I have no idea. There's people who say that grays are just drones. They're just part biological, part mechanical, and one of my friends calls them like time scavengers.
Mm-hmm.
She's just like, oh yeah, they're just like, almost like Nazi experimenters, just like kind of flying through time.
Another thing that makes it hard to understand. Oh, sorry, you weren't done.
Go.
Is it might be illegal to do this?
Oh, totally. I mean, to ruin someone's crops, yes.
Yeah. So you now also have to get 3 people. Just try it. Anybody out there, go ahead, try and do this. Like you want to make a prank.
Right.
Get 3 people, talk to them, tell them you have this picture of an idea. You want to make a gigantic crop circle next to a government space facility in London or England, wherever it was, and go there and trespass and do it without getting caught. People. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there like, yeah, it was punks. It's like, okay, do it.
Well, right, and that makes a lot of that has more to do with making people feel better because people don't like open ends.
Right.
I don't even like to say aliens did it because it's just I like open ends. No, that wasn't supposed to sound horny, but I like sexy open ends.
Sex.
But no, I like not having the answer. I don't need to say it was aliens. And the people who do need to say it's aliens, it's just like, fuck off. You don't know. This world is too complicated and weird and crazy. It could be a gazillion things. And I just don't necessarily immediately go, oh, it was teenagers who were bored. Like, that's so lazy. So, yeah, I just think it's really, really cool. Lando, you're awful. Oh, my God. Can we put him somewhere?
I can do something. I can try to do something. You know what I'm saying?
Let's ship him to Tijuana.
Where is he? Is he behind you?
Yeah.
I'm gonna put him outside.
He's trying to lick his back.
Okay, maybe he'll stop then for a minute. If he starts again, you take the show and I'll put him outside.
You know he's gonna do it.
But then I put him outside. Okay.
Nah, he did it. I told you. You're gonna leave me alone with the show?
Yep.
Can I just look at my iPad?
Whatever you want to do.
I'm gonna. Make me do the show.
I'm back.
Good.
Well, let's do. I'm not gonna play music for a couple weeks until I figure out that, because I can't put the songs up on YouTube because it's copyright crap.
Oh, okay.
And I don't have any songs queued up anyway. Here is an email.
Okay.
From Adam S. If you'd like to send your paranormal or interesting stories to the Bailey J Show, you email baileyjshow@gmail.com with your story.
Get on it.
And also, I'd like to say that so far everybody's stories have been very interesting and well written, and I appreciate it.
Yo, yeah, they've been amazing.
Hey Bailey, he doesn't mention my name.
Oh my God, it's just me.
My
I'm
name.
listening.
My name is Adam. 30-year-old guy from Melbourne, Australia.
Come on.
I really love your podcast.
No, don't do it.
And my girlfriend and I love your porn, too.
Oh my porn.
I love listening to your show when I'm driving to work at 5 a.m. It helps my brain wake up and warm up.
That's
I
good.
love when you discuss the paranormal and strange happenings. Well Below is a story about something that happened to me when I was young. When I was around 4 or 5 years old, I slept in a single bed. It was one of those old white enamel framed beds with gaudy, shitty gold trim throughout it, and paintings of flowers on those bulb-shaped accents on the center post. I remember waking up as I felt something near me. I could hear and feel a slight vibration. My room was dark except for some street light making its way in through the gap between the edge of the curtains and the window frame. I sat my head up and peered to the opposite side of the bed, and I could see a short, wide-headed figure. The details seemed difficult to make it due to it almost being a matte black color.
Probably make out is what it's.
Yeah. But I could make out vividly that the figure had the appearance as if it was made up of a texture that resembled cigarette ash, jagged with lots of detailed, staggered layers. I froze as I gazed at it. It felt as if I was looking at it, wide-eyed for a few minutes. I remember blinking over and over again to see if I was awake. It raised something, maybe an arm, as if it was pointing at me. It seemed like it had a misty-like shadow surrounding it. I dived my head under the covers. I remember the intense feeling of fear. A few minutes later, I looked back from under the covers and it was gone. This experience is something I recall so accurately it was as if it happened to me yesterday. I know that it happened, and that it was not some dream I had as a child that I was reacting to. I don't remember much from my childhood. I have very few memories for some reason. Even events that happened to me when I was in the mid-teens, I struggle to remember. But to this day, at age 30, it is burned into my memory. Even the feeling of the vibration is a sensation I can still recall. I'm not sure what it was. Sometimes when I reflect on what I saw, I think it may have been an evil figure. Other times I think it might be just some kind of spirit. I would love to know. I'm not sure if it impacted my life or influenced anything around me or changed or affected the path I'm on today. I have attached a pic I found on eBay of a similar bed that I had to help you create a mental image. Terribly ugly style. It's the kind of adult baby would probably pick out for themselves. Anyway,
That's funny.
love the show. Hope you like hearing about my paranormal story. I tried to, for some reason he put paranormal in quotes. I tried to recreate this memory in the form of a series of photographs. I have attached them. One is meant to depict the creature, and the other is meant to show how I felt at the time. Sincerely, Adam. And there's a really spooky picture of like a faceless person,
Like a hooded, faceless.
wrapped in a blanket with like paper over their face.
That's scary.
And another picture. Whoops. No, I don't want to do that. I just want to open it. Of a man with a wrap around their face.
Okay.
And the bed is in here as well.
That is a terrible bed.
Spooky.
Spooky. That's great though. No, I mean, and lots of people get nighttime visitations. I mean, that's like very old. That's like totally a thing that happens regularly. And to see like shadowy figures and stuff.
So when I heard short figure, wide head, I was thinking, and cigarette ash, I was thinking a gray alien, but that's not. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I didn't get that vibe. I got interdimensional, almost shadow figure, shadow being is what kind of came to mind for me.
Why do you think it would? Why do you think do you think they consciously show up, or it's just like a mismatch of dimensions?
I think sometimes it's just a mismatch. I think it's just complicated. I think it's spillover. I think it's complicated. I don't know that it has anything to do with needing to be around that person necessarily, but I don't know. Like I said, I have no idea.
No, I know you don't. Yeah. What do you think the experience was from the figure's point of view?
I have no idea. I can't even, you know what I mean? It's one of those impossible.
Like, do you think the figure has a podcast and they're talking about this weird like cigarette ash bed that they saw?
Yeah, I have no idea. It's very bizarre though, and it's something. And the other thing is, saying that the guy mentioned that he kind of like lacks a lot of memories. That could be an argument. I could see somebody making the argument, oh, well, clearly this person has suffered some sort of trauma in their life, like maybe as some sort of coping mechanism, they've kind of replaced they have a false memory if they do have trouble like remembering things, like maybe they have had some trauma in their childhood. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But I also trust somebody when they say like I blinked, I rubbed my eyes, like I felt this consciously in the moment that it happened. Like it's something very real that happened to me. I take that seriously. You know what I mean? I take that seriously. I don't just want to chalk it up to, oh, this person has a false memory because of suffering some sort of trauma from childhood. Because that's what a lot of people do, especially with abduction stories. People just chalk it up to, oh, this person was molested or there's something bad happened to this person, and they're blocking it out or created a false memory in order to keep their sanity. But it sounds like something very paranormal happened to this person, which I think is really cool. I like that. And it's and I guarantee you, the more people that write in, you're going to realize how common that is, especially even more than abduction stories or more than any of that other stuff. Shadow people are a huge thing. I mean, even years ago, if you listen to the old archived episodes of Coast to Coast with Art Bell, he just mentioned shadow figures in passing to like one caller one time, and then they just flooded in everything. And now kind of the contemporary shadow figure story is like really thanks to Art Bell, because he gave it context, but it's something a lot of people experience. Like a lot of people. So, and including people who don't come forward until you give them the opportunity or whatever. But or people hearing their names at night and stuff. So I don't know.
Art Bell, by the way, if you people listen to Midnight at the Desert, he's not doing well. He's in the hospital or just got out.
Apparently he was in the hospital.
He might have that cigarette disease.
COPD.
Or he had like pneumonia, was on fluids, and they're like updating, and he was like in intensive care. So either he's going to die soon or he's going to be okay.
I knew he was a smoker for years and years, so I guess I'm not surprised he's got emphysema or COPD potentially. But.
So yeah, good luck to Art Bell. Because I really want him to come back on. Because now it's such a weird... He's like 70, and like Howard Stern is like 66 or something, or 62, and it's a different age now. Where 70 used to be super retired, but you know Joan Rivers was in her 80s. Like he could keep broadcasting for another 10, 15 years.
I was really upset when Joan Rivers died, and people were like, "Oh well, you know she was almost 80." I'm just like, dude, that doesn't matter. Like she had so much more to do. She was that is so irrelevant, especially nowadays. So I mean, you know, look at Betty White, but.
So I'm gonna smoke this cigarette for Art Bell. Since he probably can't have one right
and
now.
they still have archived episodes of Art Bell on the TuneIn Radio app. I mean, not to you know, the only thing I would ever plug to like turn people away from this show even for, you know, a couple of hours is the archived episodes of Art Bell, because they're so fascinating. Sometimes they would get a little Jesus-y. He wasn't particularly religious, but sometimes, you know, like he would have Father Malachi Martin on the show, and a lot of the callers were kind of Jesus nuts. They were kind of crazy. Yeah. Like the kind of people who think the world's going to end and Jesus is going to come back. Mm-hmm. But that's part of the fun. I mean, if that stuff doesn't offend you and you can enjoy it anyway, it's part of the fun. But yeah, the TuneIn Radio app, or TuneIn Radio app.
Yeah,
and
it's a really cool
They've
app.
got a bunch of Art Bell stations that are just 24/7 archived episodes of Coast to Coast and Dreamland and all of Art Bell's old shows, including some of the new stuff.
Yep.
So, or the newer stuff before he retired this last time.
Yeah, and there's even other paranormal stuff.
Yeah.
So here's another email. This is all like week to week. We're getting a lot of responses. Again, I really appreciate it. All good stuff.
Yeah.
And anybody else wants to send in their thoughts, you can even do it anonymously. It is to BaileyJShow@gmail.com. This is from Lauren. Hola. This is my first memorable... Hold on, I gotta make it bigger for my old eyes. My first memorable paranormal experience I'm going to share with you. I was born and raised in Las Vegas, Nevada, on the north side, very near to the Nellis Air Force Base and Sunrise Manor area.
That's cool.
This might be UFO. We haven't had those yet.
That'd be exciting.
My paranormal experience happened to me in the first house my family moved to from Michigan.
Oh, maybe not.
I was under the age of 9 when it occurred, but I am not sure as to what exact age. Anyway, I was in my bedroom at the time and looked towards the door frame. My door was open and it was daylight outside, probably early afternoon. Towards the bottom right corner of the door frame, I saw this very eerie creature that I cannot identify nor explain to this day. I'm currently in my 20s. All I can do is explain to you what it looked like. It was very small and round, but dark like pure black. This is actually not too dissimilar to the other story.
Yes, it's
Its
cool.
eyes were perfectly round and almost yellow.
Yellow eyes, that's another one. That's a thing.
It stared at me for a very long time with no blinking or movements made. It was almost like a black, fuzzy baseball with piercing eyes that would not release me from its glare. As a child, I swore it was one of our cats, and I called to it like my pet at the time with a cooing voice. The creature stood very still and kept in the bottom right corner, peering to me. I must have glanced away, my attention span being very short, and looked back to see what I thought was my cat at the time. Nothing was there, and I remember walking out of my room and looking around my hallway in both directions, calling for my cat repeatedly. My kitty did not respond, and I do not remember what I did next, but I was not afraid. Looking back, I would have screamed and thrown a shoe at the creature, or at least tried to talk to it more, so it would have been a little more responsive. I am not sure as to what I saw or even how to research it. This experience is not fabricated. This is a personal memory I have had for my entire life. I think about it now and then, but I feel as though my story will intrigue and or inspire others to speak out on your show. As for my beliefs, I was raised very Catholic, but I am an atheist and have been for years now. At first, I was agnostic for a very long time, but slowly agreed more with atheists. There have been other paranormal type experiences that have happened to me throughout my life, regardless of my beliefs. Thank you for listening to my story and for continuing to make the podcast. I have been a dedicated listener for almost 3 years now. You both are fantastic, and it makes me happy to see both of your beautiful faces
Aww.
while now watching the podcast on the YouTubes. Sincerely, Lauren L, aka Chibi_Lauren on Instagram. That's CHIBEE_Lauren.
That's great, though. I like that story. And that goes in line with the last story, like you said. And like that's what I mean when I say interdimensional spillover. It doesn't have to be like a full human apparition. It can be these kind of like weird things. It could have, I guess, arguably it could have been a cat or a rat or something, sure. But
I didn't get that feeling.
no, I didn't get that feeling either.
People know it, especially if they're 8, they know what cats and rats are.
Yeah, like it's, but that's,
I think people just can't believe it, so they try to make sense of it.
well, and that is a coping mechanism, ironically. But that's great. That's really, really cool. There's and it seems like that's a recurring theme. People going to bed, people kind of like seeing these shadowy figures. I've heard countless stories like this, listening to Art Bell and reading John Keel's books, that these are like things that people experience. So I think that's badass. I think it's really cool. I mean, and there's so many things, like I've mentioned before, that don't have any context, so they don't see the light of day. And even UFO people who are notoriously so paranoid about other people trying to like keep people from the truth, they downplay a lot of these experiences that they think are going to discredit the paranormal world. And like, you know, there's people who witnessed like aluminum cans coming to life, like, you know what I mean, like just shit that has no context.
Right. It's interesting too, because I used to sometimes think, well, these always happen in the bedroom because they're dreams, but clearly this person was daytime and they can tell they're not asleep.
Right.
I think people can tell when they've had a dream.
Definitely.
But it goes in line kind of but people, when they are in their bedroom, are in a more relaxed state. So they could, and their children who are more open, I think, to things, they could have been allowing themselves to experience, so they could be projecting antenna images. Because again, if the conscious antenna brings in inspiration,
yeah,
and it brings in demonic things, it could also bring in interdimensional things. And
I
then
think
maybe
so.
you can even, as you bring it in, you can then project it, and maybe only that person sees it.
And there's an argument that it can be a geological phenomenon as well. Like depending on where you are, there can be some sort of window. There, you know, we've talked about it before.
Like ley lines.
There's ley lines, and then there's even we've talked about West Virginia and we've talked about New Jersey. Those are two really big hot spots for cryptozoological experiences. And so I think sometimes it is geological, you know, and what one thing I really wanted to look into was, because we talked about the Mothman on the show before, but apparently there was something that was being called the Owl Man of the in the UK, and that was being seen everywhere. But specifically, apparently almost every person that reported it, and apparently it's humongous and has big eyes, and it was very reminiscent of the Mothman. Apparently, almost everyone who reported it was a teenage girl, which is kind of weird. And the Mothman's been accused of following around adolescent people and being very curious about menstruation and being very curious about sexual activity among adolescents. So, I don't know. It's kind of cool.
I think we have... Yes.
What's that?
Oh, no, I read that already. I thought we had one more email on a different... couple people emailed the Riotcast email.
Okay, that makes sense.
But don't do that, because I'll lose track of it in the future. Thank you. So yeah, everybody that's been listening and sending in stuff, it's been really awesome. I also want to thank the following people who have been supporting the show financially, which helps. I just actually had to make a payment to Libsyn.com because they do all the hosting of all these things. Sticky Keys is back.
Yeah, Sticky Keys.
Thank you for your contribution.
We appreciate it.
Chris Y sent a very kind, generous donation. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
Luna M, they've been donating like almost every week.
Yeah, Luna's the best. Luna's like, she was a friend on Twitter.
Yeah, thank you. David S for your continued support. Aaron H and Kyle S, your payments are being skipped, so you might want to get on
Kyle
that.
S.
You too at home, if you are enjoying what you're listening to and you have a couple bucks that you want to throw at us, you go to BaileyJShow.com and click the support link, and that brings you to PayPal, and then you just enter a number figure, and then you click send, and it comes out of your PayPal, and it could be as low as $1 or as high as whatever you want, like, I don't think $60,000. And it could be monthly or not monthly, but $60,000 would be nice. I have a car to pay off.
It's
And
true.
Actually, I wouldn't use it to pay off. I would use it to make something for the show.
I need water. I'm dying.
Oh yeah, we forgot water this time. Well, the show's almost over.
Is it?
Yeah, we're already at.
We just started.
Well, I think you're having fun.
I must be having a good time.
Yeah, we're at an hour already,
Oh, wow.
and that's with no musics.
No musics.
But there's more to talk about. If you
Is there?
give
What
a
else
shit
do you
on-
got?
I have a planet with 3 suns.
Like My Three Sons?
Yeah. No, like Star Wars, but with 3.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Oh, right, because there were 2 sons on Tatooine.
While I'm
I'm
at
such
it,
a
though,
nerd girl. I know everything. I'm a nerd. Matt, I'm a nerd girl.
You are a nerd girl?
I said Tatooine.
You can also on BaileyJShow.com click the Amazon link, and that doesn't cost you anything. If you're going to buy a shoe, you go to BaileyJShow.com first, click the Amazon link, and then buy the shoe the way you would normally, and then we get props and a couple of pennies.
Who buys one shoe?
Shoes. There's also a GameFly link on there. You can get a couple free weeks of games, and there's also Playboy.tv/Bailey, which is a continued loyal sponsor of the show. 1 free week. You just got to sign up. No money paid by you, and you get access to Playboy.tv/Bailey for a week. And if you don't like that, you just cancel, and they don't charge you anything. And Bailey, do we have any other sponsors?
Yeah, actually, we have tweakedaudio.com. The Bailey J Show is brought to you by tweakedaudio.com. That's TWEAKED audio.com. They sell earbuds, and they're better than the ones that came with your smartphone because they stay in your ears, and they're cute, and they come in all sorts of different colors, like green and red and blue and wood, because wood is a color, and you can wad them up, shove them in your pocket, and they don't get tangled because of technology, I guess.
Yeah, they actually don't. They feel waterproof. They don't say that, but I feel they would be.
I feel like that we can't promise they are.
But at least rainproof.
That being said, I did put a pair of earbuds in the washing machine the other day, and they did not break. But anyway, tweakedaudio.com. Enter discount code Bailey, BAILEY, and get 33% off of your purchase, and that's like a good chunk of change. And the shipping, my little babies, is free.
Yep. And when you enter the discount code, you actually see the money come off. You don't have to press the next thing and hope that it worked.
Yeah.
It happens live. So even if you don't want to buy something, just put like $200 worth of earbuds and then enter the code, and you see all this money go off, and it feels really nice.
So that's tweaked, like tweaking your nipples, tweakedaudio.com. I should just tweak my nipples while saying tweakedaudio.com. Tweakedaudio.com. Tweakedaudio.com.
I'm going to go there right now.
Oh, shit.
Ooh, they have the new Hegon sports earbuds. Let's see. I bet you they're waterproof, because I just said that. Yep, the Hegon is water resistant.
No.
How? See, that's my techno psychic stuff.
You're techno-psychic.
I say things and then I see. So they're $39.95, expensive because they have better parts and they're waterproof.
They're fancy, yeah.
They have a 1-button mic on it, so it has a microphone too. So I don't know, 33% off of that, it'd be like $30. With the free shipping, it's crazy. It's just so good. I'm gonna get these, I think, actually.
Do it. Make it happen.
For my riding on my bicycles.
So tweakedaudio.com.
Go to tweakedaudio.com.
Go to tweakedaudio.com. Thank you.
Thank you for tweakedaudio.com. Also, you can go to last one. This isn't a sponsor, but you can always go to ts-baileyj.com for the erotic entertainment that we produce as a couple.
That's true.
There's a new video up there called a JOI, and
That's a jerk off instruction video.
Yeah, and it's a hot video, and it's very informative. And there's no discounts to that, but considering the amount of content you get, although I may work on some sort of a listener discount. I'm going to talk to the company.
I will say real quick, though, that the jerk off instruction video, for those of you who don't know what jerk off instruction is, it's not literally an instruction video on how to jerk off. It's just like a very verbal solo, me to the camera jerking off and talking 101 to the camera about jerking your cock off and taking your cock out and jerking it off with me.
If you go to Bailey J Tweets on Twitter, you can see a 30-second little sample of what it looks
That's
like.
pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I was impressed with the promo.
So here's a news story from CNN, which is exciting because it's not like, some weird website. Move over Tatooine. Planet discovered orbiting 3 suns. Astronomers have discovered a planet with 3 suns. Where an observer, I have to say this, when I was about 8 years old, I flew to California, and I used to get motion sickness. This was before I would take Dramamine. Got off the plane, got in my Aunt Mary's car. I was in the back seat. She drove us towards her house. She lived in the fancy parts of the Californias.
She lived near where OJ killed his wife.
Brentwood area. Yeah. And she said in the rearview mirror, she looked in the rearview mirror and she said to me, "You're looking awfully green, ha ha ha." And I was really sick feeling from the motion. So she pulled over, I opened the door, and I yacked all my foods.
No.
But the funny part of the story is I threw up in front of the establishing shot house for the TV show My 3 Sons.
That's amazing.
I wish it was that they lived in San Francisco and I threw up in front of the Full House.
The Full House.
That's a good story.
I went to that when I was little because my family's from San Francisco.
Yeah. So, but I assume by now that My 3 Sons house has been destroyed by Ashton Kutcher and replaced with a bigger house. So it's probably a cool story because you can't actually go there anymore. Thank you.
That's true. That, real quick, just before I forget, the Munsters house was like reused. It's that one of the houses in that shitty show Desperate Housewives.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
Like they shoot in it, or it's just an establishing shot.
I think the establishing shot, they just like resurfaced it.
Okay.
Anyway.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Astronomers discovered a planet with 3 suns, where an observer would experience either constant daylight or triple sunrises and sunsets, depending on the seasons, which last longer than a human lifetime. The planet HD 1313999AB is the first discovered in a stable orbit in a triple star system. Previously, it had been assumed that the unstable gravity would result in any planet being quickly flung out. If the planet was further away from the most massive star in the system, it would be kicked out of the system, somebody said from Arizona. Our computer simulations have shown that this type of orbit can be stable, but if you change things around just a little bit, it can become unstable very quickly. Kevin Wagner, who discovered the planet and led follow-up observations, said that for about half of the planet's orbit, which lasts 550 Earth years, 3 stars are visible in the sky. Cool.
So, okay. We used to be awesome and like name planets after like deities, and now we just like name them like numbers and letters.
Well, that's because they found dozens of thousands.
Still, there's so many deities.
Well, there's a lot of planets named after things.
Yeah, I know.
Scientists are still cute and they'll name them Garfield or whatever.
They should keep doing. I don't like the numbers. It's a bummer.
Right? It's like naming a tropical storm like AB249.
Yeah, it's like, no, you got to name it like Janine because it's hilarious.
Well, scientists are usually fun, so I'm guessing literally they're finding like 600 a day and it's just too much work.
Maybe it's some like nerd joke we don't understand. Like maybe it's some sort of binary code for like wieners.
You can buy stars and name them and stuff? Like,
yes.
Like officially?
Yeah.
Probably planets too.
It's so dumb that that's a thing, but it makes you realize that thinking you own anything is dumb.
Yeah, and it's probably only applicable with NASA. Like, so if you go to China and you tell them, like, that's planet Bailey, they'll be like, no, it's not. Actually, big. Oh, Bailey. I like a Bailey.
I'm not as big there.
In China?
Yeah, I'm not big in China. I'm big in...
Big in Japan?
No, I'm not. That's funny. I'm big in Russia and Kuwait.
Oh, yeah, in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, really, really big there. And Australia, a little bit. I have my moments.
Here's another one. Hold on. I do have one last story. I'm going to copy. Go here. I'm going to Command V. To copy things, it's Command C on a Mac, and to paste, it's Command
Okay, you're done.
V.
No.
You do that in your address bar. Okay. This is about snipers caught lurking by Mystery Area 51.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Like recently?
This is from July 8th.
Okay.
Of this year.
Because I've heard Area 51 is kind of a dead zone now.
Nosy UFO hunt. No, who? What? nosy UFO hunters trying to sneak a peek at the top secret Area 51 military base have been stalked by snipers and stalked out by so-called black op.
If they saw the snipers, those snipers weren't very good.
Right? Well, no, I think they want to be seen, so you'll go away. Helicopters,
Okay.
new videos have revealed. Videos posted on the YouTube's show what happens when curious visitors reach the warning signs of the U.S. Air Force secret facility deep in the Nevada desert. It's Nevada, by the way, not Nevada. In one, 2 men stumble across a secret rear entrance, to Area
Sexy.
51, which they claim had warning signs saying use of deadly force is authorized. They also claim that perched on top of a rocky hill was a sniper aiming a gun at them. One of them said, "It looks like a sniper, man.
Sniper man.
That is where the camo guys are watching this from. And it says use of deadly force authorized." The second man said, "What is that? If they're not holding some kind of incredible items, why do they have what looks like guns?"
It kind of sounds like Daffy Duck and Woody Allen
Oh, weird.
a little bit.
I didn't think it was as extreme as they say it is. We have been to every other gate, and this is the only one that says use
Stop!
of
You're
deadly
killing me.
force.
It's unlistenable.
What do you have in there that is so secret? You going to have a sniper out there perched up on a hill? All right, there's a video. Let's see it. Please don't be super loud. Wow, wow, wow. See that? That was youtube.com/finding UFO. So we got to figure out how to make our show have a name. Incidentally, since I don't know how to do that yet,
Oh my god.
this episode is going to be called Shadowy Figures. So when you're ready to find the show, you search YouTube for Shadowy Figures, and there'll be 7,000 things, and it won't come up.
Ooh.
There's a helicopter right there.
UFO hunters look like such dorks, though, right?
They look like,
It's always just like a bunch of old white dudes.
yeah, they look like a couple of dorks.
Is he wearing a fanny pack? He looks like it. Like they're always old white dudes. I think it's because there's no oppression. There's like a
Yeah.
lot of free time.
Well, they also don't have to worry about because they don't actually get shot.
There's no actual threat on
Yeah.
the daily basis.
There probably are black Area 51 people, but they all get killed.
You know what? My favorite thing now is the Ghost Brothers.
Yeah.
It's like the first paranormal show with the entire cast are black men, and it's so much better. It's like so good.
There's one thing I hate about that show, though.
What, that they're sexy?
No,
'Cause they sexy.
it's that you can no longer call ghost adventurers ghost bros.
Because Ghost Adventures is the one with like the douchey bro type, the douchey bro frat boy
everybody
types.
for 10 years called that show Ghost Bros.
Ghost Bros, because they were bros, but now there's actually Ghost Brothers, so you kind of can't call it Ghost. The
So if
other
you
show,
say I was
Ghost
watching
Bros.
Ghost Bros, people are like, which one?
But Ghost Brothers is so good, and like they're cute and like funny, and also they like it's really based in the South, which I love because there's just like a lot of like Southern history, like weird paranormal stuff. So it's like it's a great show. It's on the Destination America channel, which I am constantly watching.
It's funny too because black people historically leave scary situations before anybody else.
They reference that
Oh,
in
do
the
they?
show. Yeah, they're just like, why is it always white guys? Is it because people think we're just gonna run? And it's just like, yeah. But it's really it's a great show. It's really really funny.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Great microphone on this video. All right, so there's people out in looks like Nevada. I believe it's Nevada because I've been there. Bailey and I actually Christmas about 5 years ago, since there was nothing going on, it was very un-Christmas-like in Nevada. We tried to find Area 51 and drove out to the desert for 2 hours and
We
couldn't find
did.
it.
That's true.
Okay, here comes some Black Ops.
Black Ops.
That's cool.
Where are they?
Right
I
here.
hear them.
Right there. See where my mouse pointer is?
Okay.
That's a Black Op.
Ugh, they hold the camera wrong. Oh shit. That's cool.
I would be shitting my pants if I was out there.
Yeah, I'd get the fuck out of there. They're not scared of anything because the cops never fucking go for them. They're just like, These
They're laughing. They could totally get shot legally
totally.
from the helicopter. Sweet. Sweet.
I shouldn't make fun of them. I'm sorry.
Hands.
That thing turn around?
It's coming towards him.
The
yeah.
Black Op turn around. Black
like-
Ops.
This is like the game Rust when you're out in the wilderness. And eventually, occasionally, these helicopters come by and they rip you to shreds. Okay, clearly the helicopter is fucking with them.
Yeah, I mean, the helicopter just turned around and is now over them right now.
Who paid for this helicopter? I mean, I know who did. We did. But I didn't agree to that.
Crazy.
I can see the signs that say warning.
Yeah, like we can legally shoot you here.
What the? Americans suck.
Yeah, we're pretty awful.
Have some respect.
Have some respect for the Black Ops. Now, what is a Black Op exactly? Because I repeat it because I know Alex Jones always says Black Ops.
It's operatives that wear all black and have all black vehicles. That,
Okay, because that cop, yeah, that isn't unmarked.
Yeah, that aren't associated to any specific law enforcement. But people see them all the time at areas like this.
Oof. Is it gonna land?
This is
Like
very X-Files.
Yeah. So how do we know it's a sniper? That's really clear footage of this thing, though. I gotta give it to them.
Yeah.
So where was the sniper? I didn't see a sniper.
Yeah, that didn't come up in the maybe there's another
Melodrama.
Video. Here's another video. This is gonna be the sniper video. Alright, shut up.
In there and right there, but right behind you see shadows, and you see. It's either that or it's like a deer, and I don't think deer go up there.
That's where the camo guys are watching this area right here.
Holy shit!
We come in peace.
I mean, I didn't believe that.
They don't
it
care if you
was
come in peace.
As extreme
Not
as
about that.
everybody says it is, until just now I saw somebody move.
Oh, I think I see
And
somebody.
It says use of deadly force authorized.
Because we've gone to every other gate, and this is the only one that I've seen
I
that
see
says
it.
use of deadly force authorized. You have got to be shitting me. What do you
Why
have
aren't they
back there that's so secret that you're gonna have a sniper rifle hanging out, perched up on a hill?
Okay, the government's allowed to have military facilities that develop weapons for war that
Right,
that,
okay.
that they don't want any country to know about.
Right.
So Russian tourist acting American can come here to try to find out what the secrets are.
Well, that's true.
That's what the use of force is for.
That was the most 80s thing you've
It's-
ever said.
It's not to hunt UFO hunters. So these guys just like kind of being like, oh, this is stupid. It's like they can kill,
They can kill you. You can die, sir.
Like whether or not you agree with it, like they can kill you.
We don't. And think about it. If that sniper shot both of them and took their iPhones, we wouldn't know about this video.
No.
It's the desert.
Watching this road that pretty much nobody comes down,
All right, dude.
let alone two dudes on motorcycles traveling.
They can't kill
slowly
us because of
towards
the
them.
Constitution.
Top
Like,
of the hill, crest that hill.
Dude.
All right, the left one.
Dude.
Yeah.
Right to the base is a rock.
Yeah.
Right next to that rock is something round looking right at us.
Oh my
I
gosh.
don't see it.
Hey, dudes.
Oh my gosh.
All right, dude. Watch this.
Say dude more.
Oh my gosh.
I dare you.
Oh my gosh. I need
Say
to go-
dude again.
So now he's crossing the line into the use of
Look at
deadly
this.
force portion.
Look at this.
oh God.
You're gonna-
You
you're
kind
gonna-
of
you're
want
gonna
him to get
stand
shot
fast
I
a
would
little.
be very happy.
Fucking sniper up there. Oh my gosh.
Freak out.
See, he's pretending like he has balls, but there's no way he's running 200 feet that way.
No, because he'll get shot.
JG, you want to go?
Oh
Okay.
my gosh.
Here, I'll go.
I don't know,
I'll take you.
I'm wanted for murder. I don't know.
Nah, come on, man. Here goes G crossing the line of death. The one. This is the actual line of death.
He's pretending to get shot.
Oh God, that's gross.
There's
Okay.
right up there. It's that tree right there, guys. There's a round scope. Look, it glinted in the sunlight. And now maybe it's just me.
Oh,
The glare of this thing.
no more. I can't do it. They're too annoying.
That's crazy. Look
See,
at
they're
that.
trying to go viral, but I mean, still, I didn't see any snipers. I don't know.
Anyway,
Oh, here's an alien.
that is a rubber mask.
Oh.
Well, okay. Thank you for listening to the show, everyone. We really appreciate it.
I guess I should.
We're
I don't-
done?
I don't. I'll just end with the theme song.
All right.
Yeah, so thank you for listening. Thank you for your support and donating. Again, you can email us at baileyjshow@gmail.com, and you can get all the other stuff at baileyjshow.com. And I'm Old York Matt on all social media, and that's all I got, Bailey. Got anything else?
No. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
This was the Bailey J. Show.